to send you the match ID or do you want the file?
The match ID is fine. If it doesn't work, we can do the file.
Okay. Let's see. I have to chat over Skype. Yeah, that should be right. Excuse me, I'm a little sick, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I don't get sick because I don't leave the house, which is pretty nice.
It's hard to leave the house when you have college.
When you what?
When you have to go to college.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You're coming over and like, you gotta go take exams and be in class for attendance credit or stuff.
So you're Rubick. You're Rubick in this game.
I spam Rubick. I don't think I play anything else recently.
It's a good hero. Rubick.
If it gets...
Rubick is like one of those heroes that basically, like, no matter what the meta is, he's good. Let me see. This audio now, it's super loud. Okay, let's see. Where the heck are you? Windlace, Tango, Mango. So you're playing position 4 Rubick.
Yeah.
You have a Silencer, which is kind of a shitty offlaner. A little unfortunate, but you are against a Slark, so...
I try to ban him every game.
You try to ban Slark?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, every time I go against a Slark, they always like to come at me.
Yeah, the Slarks tend to go for, like, the squishy heroes. On Rubick, like, positioning is absolutely everything. Just standing in trees, standing far away, using your team as, like, a bodyguard, things like that.
Yeah.
You're hitting this guy. Silencer's here. Trading. Get the rune. Uh-oh, they got the... Uh-oh, they killed 3 people. That's not good.
Yeah. The Kunkka and the Witch Doctor were not incredibly the nicest people during this game, but...
Dota players.
In a nutshell.
Okay, let me watch here. So, the first thing that I would say is, I think all of the stuff that you're doing is pretty decent, standard stuff. You're just kind of trading. You're wasting the enemy team's time, so your core can farm in the lane, which is definitely good supporting. But as you're doing this, you kind of know that you're going to be taking a lot of damage because you're trading with like at least a disruptor, and then this guy runs over. I would say the very first thing you want to do in the laning phase, if you know that you're going to do this, especially if you start with not that much regen, is to send out like a salve and then maybe a tango on the courier immediately. So ideally, once you're in this sort of situation and you're like 20% HP or whatever, like this is actually good. It might not look good, but this is really good because you're using your HP as kind of a resource to secure your Silencer or free lane. And this needs to happen. But in order to make this fine...
Continue to work,
yeah. You need to like not have where this can screw you over essentially is when you have these big windows where you're at 20% HP and then you can't do it because you're too low and you're afraid that you're going to die. So you need to make sure that the regen comes out at the time that you need it. So yeah, like I said, I really like what you're doing. I think just preemptively sending out that regen is super good because this guy's free farming. This is really, really good. But then there's a period where like this guy goes over here and he's about to go pull this camp, maybe? Or is he going to walk back to base?
No.
Oh, he's going to walk back to base. Okay.
People don't pull here.
Well, I was going to say, I think if he's good, he would pull this. And then what you would do is you'd salve and then you'd run over here and you'd either stop it, but then if Slark heads over and he bullies you, then you just sit there and soak the XP. And that's still fine too, because at least somebody's going to be getting the XP, you know? The problem is when somebody pulls and nobody can go over here and get the XP. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, like I said, good so far. Just the regen kind of enables you to like continue playing this way.
Yeah, so I should send that regen immediately if I'm going to be playing this sort of using HP as resource.
Yeah, exactly. If you watch like pros play in the current meta, they basically are the courier's in use like permanently. I think that's fine. Okay, you actually survived. Oh, never mind. That doesn't matter. You killed the courier. I think that's I think that's well, yeah. I mean, I would go for that too. I'm not gonna lie to you here. I'm going for that as well. So yeah, you're just kind of bullying, stopping the pull. I like where you're positioning, by the way. I really like that you're positioning to the right of the lane because anytime the disruptor runs over here and tries to go pull, you're going to see him. So this is quite good. So now what you want to do is you want to look to try to pull probably the next wave because it's kind of pushing out.
Yeah, I have trouble pulling in the offlane because I'm not completely sure how to do it.
So the way that I do it is
Mm,
whenever the creeps are like just in front of the tower, you
mhm.
can pull directly horizontally, and this works on this side as well. Except on this side you can't really. It's less horizontal, but you pull
Uh,
like you pull this way. You
Diagonal.
can. Yeah, you pull diagonal, which obviously like if you're pulling diagonal into a vertical wave, or a wave that's moving like vertically,
Mhm.
obviously that's a little bit more distance. So it is actually easier to pull horizontally or like
Uh-huh.
vertically because it's less distance to get to the wave. So if you can like cut some trees and pull this way, you can see my
Yeah.
mouse, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
If you can cut the wave and like pull this way, cut the trees and then pull this way. It is a lot easier to do it because like if you look at the distance from here to here, it's like nothing compared to the distance from here to here. But with that being said, if you pull when the creeps are kind of like right in front of the tower by the river, then
Mhm.
it's always going to work. And you just let the creeps hit you. And the reason you let the creeps hit you is because there's this little like aggro radius around you where if the creeps hit you, uh, any of your creeps within the radius will aggro to whatever hit you. So
Uh-huh.
it actually kind of extends the range of pulling if you let the creeps hit you, which is a weird mechanic, and I'm sure it wasn't intended originally, but it makes pulling like almost impossible to not get off if you use that trick.
Got it.
It extends it by like like if you don't do this trick, you can pull to you can like pull the creeps to about here,
Uh-huh.
and you have to time it perfectly. But if you do know this trick, then you can, if the creeps are all the way over here, it would still work
I
because
got you.
it's such a huge range. But yeah, all that takes is kind of practicing it for I don't know 5 minutes in a practice lobby, and you'll get a good amount of practice. Okay, so he didn't go for the bounties. You're going for the bounties. Definitely fine to leave the lane in order to get the bounties. This guy just shouldn't be pushing up this far. One thing in retrospect that I didn't think about
Hmm.
until seeing this guy die, but like if I'm going over this replay afterwards as if it's mine and I want to see what I can do better,
Uh-huh.
I would like in retrospect say that when you're leaving here
Yep.
to get these bounties, maybe like send out a ward so that way this guy when you leave can see people coming. So like put a ward
Uh-huh.
here or over
I got
here,
you.
and then he'll see the sniper, and it's like I think generally like he probably shouldn't die there because you're his support. He knows that you're gonna go get the bounties. Like he wants you to go get the bounties, so he should just play safe. But
Hmm.
obviously, like it's still pretty fine to put a ward down. To scout this guy who's apparently getting owned by a Kunkka. Oh, never mind. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
They're both getting owned. They both have really low CS at 5 minutes. I'm curious what these guys' ranks are if they're. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of these. Okay, this guy doesn't. This guy
The
doesn't even.
silencer actually has the highest rank, I think, in the game.
Okay, so he's Crusader. I see. I'm just trying to get an idea of exactly like what bracket this is. So okay, that's Crusader as well. Oh,
It's
this guy,
Archon.
this guy's Archon. Yeah. Okay. This guy's so it's pretty wide range
Hmm.
of people because it's unranked. Oh goddamn. Dick butt, nice. Um, okay, let's keep watching this. So yeah, like I said, if I'm in this game, I'm probably not going to put a ward either. But I would afterwards like look back at this and be like, okay, if I put a ward, this guy doesn't die. It's always nice to whenever you're leaving a lane as a support to just plop down a ward for your core, so that way they feel safe.
Gotcha.
It's more common on position 5, but I don't see why it can't apply to position 4 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting to kind of the awkward point of the game where if you just try to kind of lane regularly, all they need to do is like press their spells on you, and then they're gonna do a
Eat
lot
me.
of damage to you. Yeah, it's and this is usually when like the laning stage breaks down in pro games because it just doesn't feel right to like continue laning. And
Yep.
ideally, what would happen is I really doubt this is going to happen in like Archon bracket or whatever this is. But ideally, what would happen is this like Kunkka goes and he hits jungle creeps because when he's got max Tidebringer, is there really a difference between him hitting lane creeps and hitting the jungle? He's going to kill both insanely fast with these spells. So
Mm-hmm.
he can jungle, but Jesus Christ, if you tried to jungle,
Ugh.
it would take you years to kill a single camp. So basically, what you would like to do is you would like to go sit in a lane and take the lane, and then one of
Uh-huh.
your cores that are able to go jungle, go jungle. Also, sometimes like instead of jungling, cores can roam and try to be active if you don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like jungling is effective. But in like in pubs up to like 6,000 MMR, I kid you not, most people will just go jungle, and that's fine because it just makes more farm happen on the map. And then you'd ideally leave this guy alone too.
So he can have his XP.
With the ward, right? Exactly. So he can have his solo XP, and some ways that you can facilitate that where you're given a lane from somebody, because I know a lot of people are like, no, this is my lane, I'm not giving it to you. So a good way
Uh-huh.
that you can like kind of trick people, but also it's really good to leave their lane, is if you stack these camps, then
Uh-huh.
you can just be like, hey, Kunkka, like there's stacks over here, go farm them, and then he goes and farms them, and then while he's farming them, you go mid and take his XP. Like it's kind of like manipulating, but it's also just actually good because he
It's
can.
good for both parties.
Yeah, it's good for exactly. It's like a trade. It's good for both parties. Um, and that's like usually seven. The like some games it can happen as early as 5 minutes, but it's like usually like 6, 7, 8 minute mark where the laning phase feels a little weird to just continue like pulling and harassing and stuff because everybody has spells that are so high level that it's like if you get into like a kerfuffle, you just fucking kill each other, and it's like, well, this isn't good. I don't want to run around dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this guy's got like crazy spells. This is more like, yeah, this is like a death match rather than like trading resources at this point.
Yeah. So who's gonna die first?
Yeah. Because you really want to get your level 6 now. This is one of those points where your hero gets way stronger at level 6. Okay, this disruptor looks like he's feeding. No,
When would be a good idea to do those stacks then?
okay, so there's like a few scenarios. So whatever the lane is right here,
Uh-huh.
then your silencer doesn't need your help to CS because he can just run to the tower if they go on him. So, and then also like he kind of wants solo XP if possible too. So that's when
Yep.
you would go do it. It's like that's why pulling is so good. So you pull the lane back, and then he free farms right here alone, and then you go and stack this, and then the lane pushes out, you come back, you pull, you fight a bit, you go back, you stack, and it's like this rinse and repeat where it's kind of boring in the sense that you're not doing this like cool fighting and shit and spell casting in the lane, but 100% of games you will end up way more farmed than the enemy team if you do this. It's just a really consistent way to win Dota. With that being said, this guy's having a really good lane, and you're playing pretty well, but it's obviously there's always more that you can do in Dota.
Mhm.
And then also this is like I think you guys are outskilling them, which sometimes that just oh my god, this fucking guy. Ooh, you're not. I think maybe you could have nuked him. Anyway, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. You're still pressuring. Like it's still pressure. But yeah, like what I'm saying is basically this way of like winning is more consistent than just like hoping that you're kind of more skilled than the opponents mechanically, because you guys are just out mechanically skilling them, where you're pressing your spells better and they're dying.
Uh-huh.
Like this guy's really fucking the pooch in this lane, I think.
Uh,
So you're picking up the bounties.
is your screen also flashing colors, or is that just me?
Huh. Is it Skype that's showing that?
I think so. It was like flashing purple and red and blue for a moment.
That's wild. Why does that not surprise me with Skype though? Honestly, is it good now?
Yeah, it's good. It's back to normal.
That's crazy. It's like when you Discord and you screen share, and then the other person screen shares, and then you're just screen sharing a screen share of a screen share, and it
Oh
like
my goodness.
and it infinitely loops and just gets more and
Yeah.
more distorted because of the slight like pixelation that happens. Becomes yeah, it's like you're entering another universe. Anyway, yeah. So you have a 3K goal lead. Did you win this or did you lose this?
We lost.
Okay, cool. So this is gonna be a throw. So yeah, your rotation to the mid lane I think is quite good. Take the tower. I feel like from what I've seen so far, I mean, unless you like tremendously fuck up, I think that you're playing better than this bracket. Maybe the laning phase is your strong point, but I think that your laning and your rotations outside of the laning stage have been quite solid. I think you're gonna surprise yourself when you calibrate.
So yeah, some of my recent games, like the past 4 losses, like almost in a row, I kept feeling like not feeling, kept feeling like I didn't have much impact in the late or mid games. So I kept buying Ags, but I wasn't completely sure if that's what threw me the game in these last games. And this game, I don't think I bought Ags, but
Okay, sure. We can take a look at. Like I said, your like early game is quite solid so far. Okay, so you stole the disruptor ulti. What a spell to steal.
it's kind of weird to use when.
You don't
Do you
have the
think my
kinetic field.
skill build is correct? I was thinking about scaling telekinesis instead of arcane supremacy. Now that I think
Uh, I do see people go like 2 points, 2 or 3 points in telekinesis, and then they go arcane supremacy.
yeah, because sometimes when I use telekinesis where it only has 1 point in it, I feel like it's not long enough in the air.
Yeah.
Because in the late game when I use it, they're there for like miles. They're there
Oh
for like
yeah,
two
yeah. It's
seconds
it's
or something like that.
ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
And I felt like if I had that earlier, setting up kills and being positioned would be much easier.
That's actually a really good question. I think it depends on the game. Like if your disables aren't really that important, then it doesn't like going to arcane supremacy and just trying to make their spells that you're stealing better is good. But I think in this game, your disable actually does matter quite a bit because your only other disables are like Kunkka, Witch Doctor. Like these are kind of
Uh,
not exactly great disables. You know, you have Cask, which is just like bouncing between things, and they can purge it. And then this guy has like X Torrent, but that's not really like a guaranteed stun. Like you're the hard lockdown. So yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I think that's like a lot of people misunderstand why to skill particular things. Like they think that there's one skill build
mhm.
every game. So I really like the question. And in this game, I think that maxing your stun first makes sense because your disable matters. But if your disable doesn't matter, which in plenty of games that's going to be the case, then going to arcane supremacy would also be fine. But I think like both are fine. It just depends. It just depends on the game. Okay, so you have enough for your Aether Lens almost. Just kind of nuking out the bot wave, chilling. Is that your boar? Yeah, it is, eh?
Yeah. I still interesting spell.
Yeah, you guys are destroying. You guys are destroying them.
Yeah, and then there was the throw, but don't worry about it. Not yet, at least. The throw was basically my 3 other teammates, other than Silencer. We pushed bot and we took their tier 3, and they were all like Rax, 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 let's go Rax.
Oh, that's always the throw.
When there were still other towers left, and me and Silencer kept split pushing because we thought that was the better idea, and they kept over there like dying many times.
So let me think here. I this might be a small thing, might be a big thing. It's hard to say without actually seeing it in the game, but I would actually say 4 staff first would be pretty nice for you because
Or eight.
yeah, before Aether because they have a Slark and you can force out of the pounce, and then if
Disrupt.
you can't force out of the kinetic field, but it is easy to like time it. If he's not perfectly timing his spells, you can get out of it when he glimpses you. Beastmaster Roar is like their only disable aside from Disruptor and Slark, and you can just force somebody out of that. Like force basically nullifies all of their disables that they have. So
Okay.
I think that's really good. And I said your disables are important, but I think the catch, like Ether Lens gives you catch, right? Because it makes your spells longer range.
Yeah.
But your Kunkka has X marks the spot, so he's got a good amount of catch already. And that's not to say that Ether Lens is never the first item choice. Like I would go Ether Lens in most games on Rubick, but in this game, if you're against a Slark, a lot of the time people just rush Force Staff on supports because it just nullifies the hero. It makes them not able to kill you ever. And same goes for Beastmaster, and that's their only disable. So I think Force is really good. Also, I would say that in this bracket, Glimmer Cape is probably a broken item that you can just win a lot of games by buying Glimmer Cape. Because people in this bracket are not going to buy Detection. They're only going to have like Sentry wards, but they're going to always be like Observer wards first, you know, because people just buy Sentries because they know they're supposed to. So I would say if you want to like just take a bunch of free MMR, then you want to punish the fact that like nobody in this bracket's gonna buy Detection because it's like it sounds so stupid, but even in like or maybe not high immortal but low immortal games, people don't buy Detection because it's boring. It's like you just kind of want to outskill your opponent and kill them before they get the invisibility off. But the thing with Glimmer Cape is you can use it on somebody else. So if you just use Glimmer on one of your teammates whenever. Whenever they get gone on, you can just like win the game.
Oh, I got you.
That's definitely how I would win in this bracket. Is I would abuse the fact that people are going to be like too uncoordinated to
buy Detection.
Yeah, everybody's like trying to play core. You know, everybody's trying to. By the way, you can disassemble Arcane Boots into
Aether Lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always still have problems with mana for a long time, but I guess I could just buy Clarities, right?
Yeah, Clarities are really nice. The thing with having Arcane Boots on Rubick anyway is that he's got 1,033 mana pool, so 160 mana every 55 seconds isn't actually that much.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's only like.
But the Ether Lens gives you this 3 mana regeneration, so and 450 mana actually, which is crazy. So it's
better to just disassemble and get that.
Yeah, I would say so. And then the cool thing about that is that makes your boots brown boots, which means you could either build into like Tranquils for higher move speed and better positioning, or if you wanted to be really greedy, yeah, you could buy bots. And once again, I think that's an item that probably will win you a lot of MMR in this bracket because people don't know how to deal with split pushing either. Like they'll just, if you have bots, they'll just try to run at you and kill you, and then you just TP to your team, and then the enemy team is split up, and then you 5v4 them, and then they lose the game because they're always 5v4ing because they're trying so hard to kill you with your bots split pushing. And like you're already kind of doing the split pushing thing with the Fade Bolt, which I really like, by the way. I like how much you're pushing the lanes. I think that's really good. Like I haven't seen you hit a single jungle camp, which is perfect. Like jungle camps are dog shit.
Yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Your screen is back to red and orange and green again.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, Skype is fun.
Maybe if I alt tab and go back into it, is that good?
Oh, well, now I've got a different color. It's white and yellow.
Oh, nice, cool. Hey, what do you think about this thumbnail?
Oh, defensive warding?
No, but does this entice you to watch the video?
Oh, it does.
Nice. No,
I thought that would be defensive warding. Circles, but that's jungle camps, right?
It's actually like a video about like the different types of jungle camps, which is kind of what we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this saves you like 1,000 gold. This arcane disassemble, so you could have like a glimmer almost and your ether. Actually, yeah, you could have a force staff and your ether, or a glimmer and an ether lens. And man, if you have ether, force, glimmer, nobody will die. You're just disabling people from like 2 screens away. It's really ridiculous.
That would be perfect.
This hero buys all the fun items. He buys like ether lens, glimmer, force, blink. Like it just makes you. It's just so fun to use those items. Stealing spells and shit.
We're back to purple and blue again.
Oh my god.
I have to show you this. This is pretty.
Maybe I can change the server. Is there a way to do that? And
And Skype.
Yeah, I feel like that's here, let me do this. I feel like that's asking a lot for
Yeah, that is
Skype.
kind of asking a lot.
All right, how's that? Is that better?
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be better, like very temporarily.
yeah, probably.
But all in all, I actually have to say, like I've coached a lot of people, and sometimes like I want to say this, but I can't. But I don't think that you necessarily belong in this bracket with. Or I don't I think if you calibrate and you get into this bracket, you won't be in this bracket for very long.
Mm.
Because I think you've been doing a decent amount of stuff. You are spending a lot of time split pushing without moving your camera to see what's going on with your team. I would say like the extension of this silencer is destroying. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
I am shocked that you guys lost because this is going really well.
Ah, don't remind me.
So I would what is it? What? Dude, look at the sniper. Look what he did.
Wait, what?
Like he accidentally TP'd. Watch.
Oh my god.
Dude, this is why I'm telling you, like, you don't belong in this bracket, man. That is what I'm saying, man. Like
That's
this.
so depressing.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Okay. So minor thing that I would suggest is whenever you're doing this split pushing, which I really fucking like, by the way. Like, so many people don't do this, and I assume it's just because you're a big Rubick player that this is something you've gotten very used to doing. Which is split pushing. But when you're split pushing, make sure that you're moving your camera around to like see where your team is and see if there's a way that you can get there to help them out. Because like the whole point of split pushing is that the enemy team splits up to try to deal with you, and then you can get to your team and take a good fight. And then you just rinse and repeat that over and over again. You split push, enemy team splits up, you fight them in two different like little groups, except you're grouped together and they aren't. You win the fight, you split push more, you win a fight because they're split up, and then you rinse and repeat that until you have this massive gold lead, which is kind of happening because you guys already have a huge lead. But yeah, it's you gotta be a little careful split pushing if you can't get to your team, and that's why bots would be really nice as
Yeah,
well.
I got you.
One thing I would say is you're sitting on a lot of gold right now.
Yeah, at this point in the game, I was kind of like, what do I buy? I wasn't completely sure what I should be buying. I wasn't thinking of Glimmer or Force Staff at the moment at all.
Yeah, I would say like your 6 slot on Rubick is like Travels, Blink Dagger, Force Staff, Glimmer Cape, Aghanim Scepter. I think that's 5 items. Like Yule Scepter or Sheep or something like that. But
Yeah.
really, it's like in my opinion, the Force Blink Ether Lens are mandatory because this hero is I have a buddy. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name's Newsham. He was that guy that played on the team. They qualified for the major, and then the 2 players got kicked after qualifying for the major. There was like that huge scandal. So he's an exceptional position 4 player, and he plays a lot of Rubick, and he plays a lot of Pudge too, right? These are 2 really skill-based heroes. And his argument, which I've always really liked for like Pudge and Rubick, is that if you're gonna pick these incredibly like skill-based heroes, then you don't want to be like a generic Dota hero. You know, you wanna use the fact that these heroes are purely skill-based to your advantage, and that's why these like glimmers and forces and things like that are super good on like Rubick and Pudge, because if you're good enough with these items, you can do sick like force in, blink, grab somebody, glimmer, like steal a spell. Like you do all this cool shit with the mobility that it provides you, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of the argument. I've always really liked that argument for building those items on like Rubick and Pudge. And your mechanics on this hero, like I do say this a lot, your mechanics on this hero are perfectly fine. Like I don't see any difference mechanically, plus or minus a few things, but that's going to be in any bracket. I don't see any difference mechanically between you and like really solid like immortal Rubick players. It's usually just like itemization, some like concepts that you aren't using, things like that's causing you to lose. Like if you have a glimmer, you just glimmer this guy and he's fine. Force him out.
Glimmer Force.
And this is why these, like I said, I would buy these items in this bracket because nobody in this
Nobody
bracket,
has detection.
nobody has detection, and nobody in this bracket buys anything defensive. Like if we look at these items,
Oh God, what the hell? Oh, I
all
remember. Oh God.
like look at this, all aggressive items, all aggressive items except for BKB, but BKB just allows him to hit people.
Be more aggressive.
Okay, this guy actually has a glimmer, but he's still building a fucking Aghanim Scepter. Like, you guys have Clinks and a Silencer with 42 int, and this guy thinks that you need more damage. Like, no fucking way you need more damage. And then this guy, all aggressive items. Obviously, the BKB is the exception. This guy, only aggressive items. This guy, only aggressive items. This guy, I'm actually surprised he has a Hurricane Pike, but he probably just built that because the stats are good and because it makes
in the guide or something like that.
Yeah. This guy,
Greaves.
he has Greaves. Well, that's just a typical Dazzle item. This guy, oh, he actually has a Force Staff. But I guarantee you, this Disruptor, after his Force Staff, he's going like Aghanim Scepter or something. Let me look. Let me see what he's building.
What did you say the 6 slaughtered was for Rubick?
The 6 slot would be ideally Blink Dagger,
Oh, okay.
Travels, Glimmer Cape, Ether Lens, Aghanim Scepter. Ags is busted. You definitely want an Ags every game.
Yeah. I was missing the blink. I had written it down and I was like, wait, what's the last one?
But you go for the yeah, I can guarantee you this Disruptor gets like an Aghanim Scepter next. Oh, Ether Lens. Okay, well that's the same thing. That's Ether Lens is like an aggressive item. So if you're the one guy, and Yule Scepter I would consider to be like a largely aggressive item. People are usually using it for setup or to like save themselves. If you get items that save your team, the reason why it's so broken is because if you have all damage, then the enemy team has all damage, then whoever wins the fight is just going to be the first person to go on the enemy team. Because if you have so much damage, which everybody in this bracket exclusively builds damage, if you have so much damage, then somebody who gets initiated on is fucking dead. Like you saw the Silencer there. He's dead. There's nothing he can do. He can't press BKB, nothing. Nobody can save him. But if you get a defensive item, even just one defensive item, then you have the ability to not only take aggressive fights, you can now take defensive fights as well. So it actually opens up, it doubles the amount of fights you can win to buy like 1 or 2 defensive items. Because instead of like you having to get the jump on them, you can force the Silencer out and then reinitiate after he survives that. You know what I mean? It's really nice. And normally it would be like a position 5 that's building these defensive items, but it's not bad to have a position 4 building it either by any means. Especially in a bracket where like this guy's going to build Aghanim Scepter and shit. And the only reason he's buying Glimmer is because, like you said, it's in a recommended guide. So probably in the fucking Dota Alchemy guide. Because
actually I use that.
Donnie made them.
Totally unrelated, but if you look at the Skype chat, you'll be able to see the wonderful distorted colors.
Ooh, let's see. That is cool looking. Unfortunately, you can't see shit, but
yeah, it's a little blurry.
That does look cool though. It's like you took like acid or something, and then you're playing Dota. Okay, so let me see what's going on here.
Starting to wonder when the throw happened. Let me see.
Yeah, because this is pretty.
Graph. Oh, wow.
So yeah, man, this would be so sick if you had a Glimmer and a Force, because you actually saved him with Shallow Grave, which like. The funny thing is, like, you did the thing that was harder. Like, it's actually hard to do what you just did. You stole Shallow Grave, and then you saved it for an opportunity to save your team. But the easy part is to have a Glimmer and a Force, because all that requires you literally buying the items. There's no skill involved with that. Well, I mean, it depends on your definition for skill. But you see what I'm saying? Like, the easy part is like having the items. The hard part is like being a good Rubick player and being like, I'm going to save the Shallow Grave and actually use it effectively. But if you Shallow Grave him and then Force him and Glimmer him and he survives this, oh boy, that's huge. That's like you single-handedly winning the game. And that's why
he was alive at this point and they're all dead.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Because then you'd get like this guy might die. You'd probably get the top tower. At the very least, like he'd have way more net worth on Silencer because and like int stacks. So let me see. what was happening here? So this was kind of like they're just running at you, which is crazy. I'm sure you can see like here like if you could. Okay, so he survived. Thank God, thank goodness. But
Yeah.
Glimmer and Force and such would really be effective. Okay, this guy's dead. I'm shocked that you didn't win this game. You're telling your team to go Roshan, which I believe is a good play. They don't do it. You Rax. Are you sure you lost this? This looks...
I am 100% positive. Look at the graph.
Do I want to see the graph?
No, but you can.
Okay.
It's not showing
whoops.
complete graph.
That's, yeah, I gotta... Oh. Let's see. Can I get to the game? I was clicking on all the people. Oh, Jesus. This is like the roller coaster that kills you at the end.
I know, right? It drops like down to hell.
Okay, I actually do have a recommendation.
Hmm?
You haven't used the neutral item for the entire game.
Oh my God.
That's an easy one to fix.
What are the neutral items available right now?
Okay, so you can have spider legs.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
This is actually their neutral item that you stole.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool. I think Clinks should have the Orb of Destruction because it works on his burning army skeletons. Spider legs would be really cool for you. Once again, it's another high skill item that, like, this lets you go over trees and shit and move really quickly. So on Rubick, like he exactly. He loves this shit. And then if you look, 24% move speed. These unfortunately don't stack with boots, but that's up from 15%. So you're getting like almost double boots by picking up the spider legs. In fact, if you kept your brown boots, you could just delete them for the spider legs, and then you wouldn't need boots, and you'd have an extra slot in your inventory for something else, which would be pretty sick.
What do you think about what is that, People's Gift? If the tier 3s weren't available at the moment.
Yeah, I really like People's Gift as well because as an int hero, it gives you agility and strength, which is armor and HP, which is always going to be good. So I think if you're an int hero, Pupil's Gift is amazing. I think Grove Bow is good if nobody else is going to use it. I really think Silencer should probably be using... Oh, wait a minute. Are these the enemy's neutral items? Oh, no. He's using Vambrace. Okay, he's using Grove... So I think Silencer could have a Grove Bow. I think Witch Doctor doesn't want a Grove Bow, obviously. It's like Clinks or Silencer that wants the Grove Bow, but even if you have to use the Grove Bow, it's better to have this than like nothing, because it gives the magic resistance reduction. It's kind of like a veil, so...
yeah.
Ironwood Tree's not bad either. It just gives 6 attributes, so it's like having a Bracer, a Wraith Band, and a Null Talisman, almost.
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice item. Just gives you extra stats.
And I probably don't want Iron Talon.
It's not bad if you can't find anything else because it lets you like take the occasional jungle camp and you could use it on Beastmaster's unit, which is kind of interesting. But then the armor is like anybody wants armor, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean Iron Talon's probably pretty dog shit for you, but you'd rather have it than nothing. I mean, you definitely want to use the spider legs. Like there's 2 tier 3 items that nobody's using, which is crazy. Like I said before, I think you're doing a lot of like the hard stuff because you're a good Rubick, but some of the easy stuff, the freebies, you're kind of not taking, which is good because that just means it's like easy fixes. It's really easy to gain MMR when your like problems aren't some fundamental misunderstanding of the game. It's literally just like use a neutral item, you know, pretty easy fix.
Simple.
Yeah, it's usually a lot simpler than people think, in my opinion. The little fixes. I think a lot of people are better at Dota than they think they are. Okay, so this seems like a big thrill. Let's see what's going on here. So
2 minutes. Oh no, that was actually one of the major team fights that we won, I believe. I think. Did he use his ultimate right in the middle of all those people?
Who?
Witch Doctor. Used his
I think so, actually. Let's see. Yeah. Let's look. Dude, this bracket is wild.
Oh, so it's scaring me. Oh, goodness.
Oh my god, dude, your silencer's owning.
Oh, he was amazing.
I think it's obviously cool that you guys killed them all here, but I think this is pretty crazy. Oh my god, you can still take aim? What the fuck? But yeah, this like pushing to throne versus a sniper is very greedy. I would say you probably just back off together.
Yeah, he's dead at that point.
Yeah, so it's like a one for one. Okay, once again, this boots thing, like you can disassemble the arcane boots and then build travels.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you're gonna be pretty solid in terms of like your efficiency with your gold. Also, you could see in like that fight there how many times you could have saved somebody with like Glimmer Force. Sorry, I keep saying it, but just to kind of show that there's a lot of situations where those items are like broken in especially in this bracket, because these guys have like literally no detection. They don't even have sentries anymore. But yeah, I would say sticking around after taking the racks and trying to go throne is fucking crazy. That is nuts. And I'm actually shocked that you guys like destroyed them. But you have such a gold lead that like they actually couldn't fight you.
Yeah.
But that's like super throw potential right there.
Unrelated, in a different game, a bristleback had a telescope, but he didn't want to give it to me.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, it does like almost nothing for bristles. So
Yeah, I was like, why don't you just hand it over? And he's like, no, I'm gonna use my quills at like 1,000 distance.
if only that worked, it would actually be good. Yeah, you can see the travels are pretty nice to have on this hero. Let's see, what items are there? Still nobody's using the spider legs or orb of destruction. Oh, you're using the orb of destruction.
Just their orb of destruction. No one's using our orb.
Oh yeah, you have 2 orb of destructions. I see. Good lord. That's a good item. Imagine having 2 of them and only the Rubick is using 1. That's crazy. So at this point, all you guys need to do is play together. Okay, so
not Kuka. A silencer and a clinks were both using the orb of destruction.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty good.
Yeah, it would have been good. I think silencer could use the grove bow. That'd be pretty sick, as well. Okay, so
my magic damage is 1, and his.
Oh, enchanted quiver is not bad either. So where does the throw happen? It's 12k gold lead. Okay, so Clinks runs in and tries to 1v5 like a dumbass.
First, I don't know what he's doing with his items. Second, I don't know what he's doing, period.
Yeah, that was crazy. But you can see that like this guy should have a BKB, and you can actually make his stupidity fine if you buy the defensive items.
Defensive item.
Yeah, that's like always my argument is that I'm actually shocked that the silencer bought a BKB and the Kunkka, because like here if this guy doesn't have a BKB, he just dies here. He's fucked, you know, but he has a BKB, so he's fine. And that's why, like, the Clinks, you can save him and make his aggressive items fine because you have the defensive ones to make up for it.
To make up for his lack of defensive items.
Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of playing on your teammates' stupidity. I would also say that a really good late game item on Rubick is Eon Disc, because anytime this shit happens...
I know. In a certain game that I lost, I bought that because I kept getting gone on by an Animage.
That's your 6th slot, by the way. I was trying to think like what the 6th slot is, and it's definitely an Eon Disc. Blink Yules, Glimmer, Aghanims, Eon Disc, Travels. Those are your items. Because all you need to do is stay alive to steal spells and be in the position to steal spells, and you're gonna win the game. Okay, so Kunkka runs in and feeds. You guys kind of chain feed after the Clinks runs in and dies.
And at 50 minutes, it's no longer a chain feed, it's just a straight throw.
Yeah, it's definitely just losing Dota. So he runs in, he feeds, Witch Doctor gets gone on, he feeds, Silencer gets gone on. So here's where you guys want to run the fuck away. let's see if you could have survived that. You were kind of... So they're all running over. Kunkka's not there. So you don't have any vision of like where they are. So this guy kind of surprises you, hits you with that, blows you up. Sniper's there. Now Silencer's probably going to die from this because he ran in to try to save you. Basically, you guys are trying to save each other, and then you buy back to try to save him.
But he's already dead, so it was basically a useless buyback.
And then Kunkka runs in, trying to make up for everybody going
and
in
look
and
at where
dying.
he is. He's all the way on the other side.
He runs in. So this is like the classic chain feed.
Everybody chains.
Save your friend syndrome, where basically all that needs to happen is one person needs to stop the chain and just get out. But nobody does, so it just continues and spirals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always what I say is like, some people ask the question like, okay, well, how can I stop my team from feeding? And it's kind of like your presence being there is
allowing them to continue chain feeding.
Yeah,
so if you're not there,
exactly.
they won't do it.
If you break the chain, then yeah, you're gonna be fine. Big throw, but this definitely is something that does happen in a lot of games. So I wouldn't feel too bad about this because sometimes like you break the chain and your team keeps feeding, and I guess it's only at that point where you can feel like fine with it. Like, to be sure, you can feel like completely fine with it because it's like, well, at least I didn't feed. You know, that's always the nice thing with just trying to play good Dota instead of focusing on like winning, I suppose, is that you, like, even if you lose, you can just think like, okay, well, at least I played really well. But if you're like running in with your team and chain feeding because you like are basically trying to make up for their mistakes, then their mistake becomes your mistake. And then you never know like what you can do to improve. So Sark runs in, gets his ulti off. Beastmaster gets owned. He does have buyback though, so you guys got to be careful. I like that you're playing this high ground. You're playing around the ward. I think this is really high skill. I would say you guys just chill here. You push in the waves. Sniper gets gone on. He dies. That's really good. Yeah, this is fine. This is good. You push in the mid wave, which is very, very good.
Oh my god. I did this. After they all died, they yelled at me. They all yelled at me for being mid while they were dying. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I was pushing mid correctly or not.
No, I like this. Okay, so one thing that I would say is...
I should have my camera on them.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a really good point. I definitely think that is true what you just said. But basically, this is. I don't know if you've ever seen like Donnie and I talk about like playing fast. That's like a really big thing that people refer to, and the whole concept of playing fast is basically like the situation I always use to describe it is, let's say you wipe the enemy team and you farm one jungle camp and then you go to Roche. That one jungle camp can be the difference between the enemy team respawning and killing you at Roche and the enemy team being dead and not being able to kill you at Roche.
Yeah.
And this is one of those situations where I think that it's very high skill of you to go mid. In fact, immortal players don't even do this. And the reason this is good is because you guys are just chilling here. Like, you're sieging this. You don't really need to be here exactly right now. Like, you can run over quickly and you can get there. But if you push this wave in and you push this wave in, then that leaves only one place that the enemy team can go. But that's the farthest place away from you where you're sieging, right? So, like, it fucks them. It keeps them... This essentially is what keeps the enemy team stuck in their base. Somebody has to do this. And so many games are lost because nobody does this. But with that being said, you stick around and like try to get the last hits, and at 40 minutes they do not matter. What you need to do,
just push in the lane as quickly as possible.
Yeah, basically Fade Bolt, Poison Touch, and then run to your team. So once again, you're so close to doing like the very, very right thing, to the point where I don't think anybody in this bracket will ever understand how good this is. And when they finally do, they'll be out of this bracket because that's how good it is. But like I said, yeah, fuck these last hits. Like, you don't need to sit over here and keep whacking like this. Like, this wave, you've already tipped the balance with this wave, especially because it's a mega creep wave. It's gonna push in, and then if you come over here, you can help your team.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
As well as like, I also think that y'all just need to get out the moment you see all these buybacks. But with that being said, let's say hypothetically you have a Glimmer, you have a Force, and you nuke this wave, and then you go behind here and you chill with your team. When they go on the Kunkka, you can Glimmer and force him out. All the buybacks come out, and you just fucking run. You just run away and let the enemy team like waste their buybacks, and then it's GG because they used all their buybacks. The unfortunate thing here is you all die without buyback, and then you all feed as well. If one person survives after this, it's fine because all you need to do is kill the creep waves, and then the enemy team can't end. Yeah, I would say you can actually salvage this game by just surviving here. And I think if you have a blink, glimmer, force, there's no way you die here. You have no items to save yourself. Like all your items are. This is actually like mostly itemization that I would say would make this game really easy for you. Like I think this item build has made the game way harder for you, and you're still playing quite well. Like I think with the proper items, you will like destroy, because if you survive here, number one, you're not dead for 2 minutes, which means that they probably won't be able to go end the game right now. I'm not sure if they do. Probably they go hit neutral creeps because that's what people do in this bracket.
Oh no, they end in like 3 minutes. Oh wait, that's 41 minutes. No, never mind.
But if you survive here, then all you need to do is like zap a wave and then run away, zap a wave and then run away, and then they can't push.
Yeah.
Because they need the creeps to push. So all you need to do is focus on killing the creeps. That's why it's really easy to... A lot of people think like, okay, well, so what if I died? My whole team died, right? Like, I can't stop my team from feeding. But if one person survives, especially a hero who's capable of like nuking waves, which a Rubick is very capable of that. If one hero survives, that's enough to delay the game by like 5 minutes instead of 1 minute. You know what I mean? Like... That's a big improvement. Dude, this guy's a fucking maniac on Clinks. Holy shit, what the hell? But this is the thing. You're going to need to play around people being this stupid and still carry the game. Because these people are in every bracket. They're in every single game. So yeah, if you survive here, you just nuke the wave. You can go cut the bot wave and just be kind of an annoying piece of shit.
Yeah. With
your glimmers and all of these items that are making you super hard to kill. Dude, 50% spell amp is such a ridiculous talent. So the
talents are fine, by the way, right?
The what?
The talent tree, the ones that I chose so far. I think they're fine.
What's the 5-second fade bolt cooldown? Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
This is another big reason why it's very easy for you to push out waves with this fade bolt.
Yeah, because it only has a 5-second cooldown.
Okay, can't you guys just end right now? Oh no, never mind. It's only 2 of you alive.
Oh, look, someone got Roshan. Oh.
Okay, so Sniper buys back, and you guys need to...
Back,
yeah. You could possibly, if you've like Blink, you could try to set up some like Blink play on him where you lift him out into the silencer, but...
Yeah, if that was possible, he would probably die instantly because silencer has so much in.
That's Blink is a big item that people buy versus like Tinker and Sniper because like these are in Zeus because these are heroes you like need to jump on the back line.
Okay.
But Blink is just like a broken item on Rubick in general because if you like this hero is all about positioning, as you know, as a Rubick player, like you know that's true. If you play with these items, like you'll feel like a god, I think. So let me see here. What's going on here? So you all have buyback. Okay. This seems a little crazy. So they kill your guy's bot. Now's when you want to get the fuck out.
Yeah, you're right.
This is good split pushing. Okay, so
we need to learn how to leave. Because right after they die, then they're all going to come for us, and we shouldn't be here.
Once again, going back to this is why the defensive items are so good because like you can empower some moron like this silencer to do this crazy shit
and live, or at least live long enough to like murder a lot of people. Excuse me.
So they're all you do a buyback, which is not bad, and you're slowly chipping away at their base. Bless you. Is that the coronavirus?
No.
That's good.
Well, unfortunately, I can't transmit it through Skype. But hey.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's a good thing for me. Like never leaving the house, I'm not worried about getting that illness. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so afraid of going through airports." Like, joke's on you. I literally sit in my computer chair all day.
Like,
got,
haha,
got him.
can't stop me now.
No. Okay, so let's see. They're pushing high ground. You have no buybacks. Your Kunkka bought out. Just by the way, he has buyback. He just bought a fucking Reaver. This guy also has buyback. He just doesn't have the gold for it. And this guy does not have buyback. He used it already. Oh, wait. Does this guy? This guy's clicking on the silencer. Oh, this guy does have buyback. He just doesn't have the gold for it. So, yeah, people don't really... Once again, going back to the defensive items, another reason why they're so broken in this bracket is because nobody saves buyback. Nobody.
Yeah, so it's more like you have only one life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of winning in this bracket is just making up for the fact that your teammates are idiots. Unfortunately. So they have pretty good late game against you guys. Like, I think their Sniper and Slark are very good late gamers, and they're kind of just, at this point, with a little bit of a gold lead and playing this late in the game, they're just destroying.
Something totally irrelevant. If I were to rank up and then play an unranked with a friend, would they be matched with higher ranks in unranked?
Yeah, slightly. So I was playing with a friend the other day who literally is brand new to the game, and we did get matched with like some immortal players, but then they also had like a couple of brand new people. So it's pretty. The games are pretty wild, but it still felt kind of even, just because like they had some brand new people as well, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can rank up and you can still play with your friends if you're playing unranked.
Yeah, I have a friend that I play with that, not to be totally rude, he's not the best. So I was worried that if I rank up and then we start playing that he'd get destroyed even faster.
No, it'll be good for him. Like it's actually Purge was kind of trying to convince me of this because I was playing with him in this like real life. Well, I guess he's a real life friend. We met him at like a LAN. He's our dungeon master in Dungeons and Dragons. So we were our game master or whatever it is. We were he just wanted to play Dota, so we played some Dota with him. And Purge was like, me and Gareth, the other guy that we play with, we were like, oh, we're gonna get on Smurfs, and he's like, no, you don't have to Smurf, just play unranked, it'll be fine. And it actually was pretty fun because the game felt balanced in the sense that we didn't have less of a chance of winning because we had a brand new player because it's unranked, so it matched us with a bunch of new people as well. But it was also kind of fun because there were good players in the game as well that were bringing the skill up. So it wasn't like, I guess it's like, he wasn't getting babied, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was playing against total noobs. It was kind of fun. It was like playing Dota in Warcraft 3 where there was no MMR or anything like that. You know, you'd just be matched with a bunch of random people. It kind of felt like that, which was kind of cool because I think it was good for our dungeon master to like learn the game a little bit better. Was like some of the players in the game were really good, some of the players were really bad, and yeah, it felt pretty good, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's nice. Pretty nice, actually.
Oops. I swear to God, man, this Skype, I'm gonna close it after this, and then it's never gonna work again because that's just how Skype works.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've talked about a good amount of stuff. I will write notes and everything and get you like the VOD. But do you have any like questions that you wanted to ask or anything like that? Some people write stuff down.
Yeah, I was thinking about, because something we didn't talk about was warding.
Yeah.
It's not as important as Pos4 as Pos5, but it's still important because a lot of people don't buy wards in this bracket.
Yeah, definitely.
Our Witch Doctor did, but that was like the exception. Many other games I have to buy 20 wards or more.
Yeah, this guy actually played a half-decent support just because I'm actually shocked that he has a Glimmer, because if you look at these other two items, they are purely aggressive. Like, why the fuck would you need a Rod of Atos on Witch Doctor? Like, stunning somebody. It's crazy. You know, it's so aggressive. And just, I'm gonna kill everybody. It's like, all right, well, you need to be alive to do that, good sir.
Yeah.
But with warding as a 4 position, I would basically say the important wards are like, whenever you're going to leave the lane and go do other stuff, you need to put a ward down for your core to farm. It's good to put it on like where around where the like outpost is, or something that's like scouting the river. Basically something to like the side of the lane that's like scouting rotations onto them. Or I do like the one that you place behind the tower. I think that's a good one too, because that scouts rotations from the tower. So that's a good one. So anytime you leave the lane, you want to put down a ward. And then anytime you want to like play in a particular area with your hero or with your team, you place a ward there, and then you play around it. There was that one ward on the high ground that I said that it was really high skill that you guys were doing, where the fight was actually going really well, and it was because of the vision. So a lot of the time you just need to hold a ward until you get into like a stalemate with the enemy team, just like when you were playing on that kind of high ground right outside their base. And then you plop a ward there, and then if they ever fight you on it, you just win because you've total vision. So like holding wards and saving them for when you know that you're just going to play around an area for like 30 seconds to a couple minutes, that's a really good situation to ward. Other than that, as a position 4, I would say like warding is just, if you feel like you need a ward somewhere, just buy it and place it, and don't feel too bad about placing it there. If you're like, okay, I want to split push this lane a bunch because I don't feel like we can fight for another 5 minutes. Well, okay, place a ward so to enable yourself to do that. If you have like if there's like a bounty hunter that's running into your jungle and killing your heroes over and over, place a ward and a sentry at the entrance to your jungle, so that way you can see him walk through it. Like, basically wards are just, if you have an idea in the game for how the ward is going to like improve the game, then just place it, and like that's about it. You know, it's not like there's a guide on it. It's more like instinctive and depending on the game than people think. Where like if you place a ward and it's just a shitty ward, whatever. It's better to like have ideas and try them and place them than to like just never ward at all because you're trying to like follow a guide or let your position 5 ward or something. Like, generally people aren't really, even if position 5s are buying wards, they're probably not going to place very good ones. So if you have an idea for a ward and you want to buy it and place it somewhere, like, go for it. You know, that's probably going to be better than any ward anybody else is going to place. In my opinion, that's how warding should work these days, is that every individual player should have an idea of how they want to play the game. And if a ward enables them, they either need to ask a support to put it there, or they need to put it there themselves. That's how I think warding should work right now. Because every hero plays differently. Clinks wants to run around invis and kill people. Kunkka wants to push lanes with Tidebringer. Silencer wants to global and hit people with this. Like, everybody has a different way that they want to play, and it's not really your job to know that as a position 4, to know like what somebody else's gameplay is, because it's their hero. They're supposed to be you're an expert on Rubick. You're not an expert on Kunkka. You're not an expert on Witch Doctor. Well, maybe you are, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's not your job. It's not your job to know what the fuck they need to do. So if you have an idea and it just seems good, then go for it. You know, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the big one is that like after laning ward to protect your core.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's kind of your job to make their game easy. And a ward does that, of course.
Yeah, okay, I got you. So when you're leaving, you want to leave behind something that kind of acts as like your place marker.
Exactly. I love that. I love that you say it that way, because that's literally like, I didn't have the words for it, but that's like the words that I would use, you know? Is that like basically you're leaving a part of you all. It's like as if you're standing there giving them vision, but it's not you, you know? It's like it's something to make the fact that your absence is not, that you're no longer there. Like, it's something to make up for that, basically.
Yeah, to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, precisely. Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.